Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Northern Kentucky Spotlight Podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Brookbank. Today, we are joined by Lisa Maines, owner and operator of Luxury Travel by Lisa. Lisa works with clients to take the stress out of planning the vacation of their dreams. Thank you to our podcast sponsors, CVG, our title sponsor, C. Crew Consulting, our digital sponsor, and our episode sponsors, Haran and Heartland Bank. Before we get to that interview with Lisa, I want to highlight a couple of things coming up on the Chamber calendar. We have a lot of happy hours this week. Tonight, Monday, July 25th, we have the Women's Initiative July Connect Hour at Cork and Crust in Bellevue. We also have the NKYP monthly meet and greet happy hour on Wednesday, July 27th at Braxton Brewing Company in Covington. And we have Business After Hours sponsored by Frost Brown Todd on Thursday, July 28th at World of Golf. All of these events are a great way to expand your network, develop professional relationships, and have some fun. You can get more details on these events on our social media channels. Specifically, you can check out our Facebook page and go to our events tab. We have those all listed there for more details, or you can go to nkychamber.com/events. Now let's go meet our members of the week, and I'll meet you guys back here with Lisa.
CVG Airport is the lowest fare airport in the tri-state region with 54 nonstop flights and direct international service to 7 destinations, including Paris, France, and now home to both DHL's and Amazon's global cargo hubs. The airport is furthering its position as leader in aviation and is deeply committed to being an economic driver for the community. You can learn more and start your next adventure at cvgairport.com.
Ranking on Google Search and Maps is easy to understand, but hard to do. It requires constant effort and attention, uploading new photos, responding to Google reviews, writing weekly posts, and checking suggested updates. Google listing optimization takes experience and time, and there are no shortcuts. C. Crew gives your Google My Business account the steady, consistent attention it needs to be effective, optimizing, updating, and expanding critical content every single week. From local retail stores to large regional networks, C. Crew generates content, establishes benchmarks, and creates dramatic, measurable increases in engagement. So what can C. Crew do for your business? More calls, more clicks, more clients.
Congratulations to our members of the week. You can learn more about these businesses by following the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce on social media, where we will highlight one of these businesses each day. Now, let's meet our members of the week. Reach Magazine features proven, affordable coupon marketing for local dining, entertainment, home improvement, salons, and more. Tri-State Gastroenterology Associates is a physician-owned and independent practice serving patients living in the tri-state area. Hampton Inn, Cincinnati Airport South, Florence, Kentucky, is an award-winning hotel offering the cleanest accommodations and super friendly service to the NKY business community. Profetti Van Mel USA is part of one of the world's largest global manufacturers and marketers of confectionery and chewing gum. Holiday Inn, Express and Suites, Cincinnati Riverfront, delivers smart value, modern accommodations, and a great location with everything you need for a great stay. Hi, everyone. I'm joined by Lisa Maines, owner and operator of Luxury Travel by Lisa. Lisa, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm excited.
I know. We get to talk about travel, which is like everybody's favorite thing. I know I am a big fan. Obviously,
Yes.
You are a big fan. It's
Absolutely.
what you do. So tell us a little bit about your company and what you do for people.
Sure. What I do is I'm a travel advisor, and what I put together is curated travel itineraries for my clients. And so what I do, part of that is understanding what they like to do, where they've been in the past, what they like, what they don't like. And so I ensure that I'm putting together the right kind of itinerary and they're going to the right destination to meet their needs.
Right. And you will take people through this whole journey, basically.
Right.
So talk us through, somebody gets in touch with you and they say, I want to go to Italy, say. What does that process look like when you're meeting with clients, and how do you make sure they get what they want?
Yeah, that's a really good question, because the way I approach it, and it works for my client base, is I sit down and have what I call a discovery conversation. It tends to be, hey, tell me about yourself. What have you done in the past? What do you have in mind? And then I just ask a lot of questions. Hey, I think I want to go to Italy. Okay, well, let's talk about that. Have you been before? What did you like about it? What did you not like about it? Do you like to travel independently, meaning you like to explore on your own? Do you like to be part of a group trip? Or do you want to be self-guided, meaning I put it together for you, but you drive on your own? And that can be like a 30, 40-minute conversation. We just, kind of like bounce ideas back and forth. And sometimes then they go in a different direction because they thought they wanted to go to Italy. In fact, I had a conversation recently with a client that wanted that, and it ended up being, no, we really shouldn't be doing that because I have younger children that will be traveling with me. Let's stay in continental U.S. And so that thought process, it really is trying to understand what's best for them and, how they like to travel. And, do you like to be in high-end hotels? Do you like to be in like little boutique, places that really you can just sit and relax and, enjoy yourself?
Yeah, it sounds like from when we talked, you do everything from booking tours to concerts to dinner reservations and everything. And not only do you set up the process in the front end, you are also there you can be contacted while they're on their trip.
Right. So after we have the conversation, then I go off and do some research, and that can take, a couple hours to a couple days, depending on the location and what they want to do. And I do put together like the tours, if they want to do some private tours, or if they want to do, a group tour activity, like if they're in Rome, perhaps they want to go see the Vatican. And so I put together the tour options for them. And hey, we want to like have a really nice dinner, maybe on the last night there. So I'll make dinner reservations for it. Again, I will research like what are the right types of restaurants based on what they like and what they want to, spend money on, etc. I've purchased concert tickets for people, flights, obviously. Mm-hmm. So that is all put together for them. And then, like you said, I'm involved, from start to finish. Because, as we all know today, there are trip interruptions with flight changes, flight schedule changes. Unfortunately, people still might, contract COVID. So they want to make sure that there's somebody on the other side that's able to help them. Because again, if you purchase it on your own, you're kind of like on your own when you're traveling versus me being involved with me. I'm on point to ensure that you depart and return successfully
with your luggage,
with your luggage, and on time.
Yeah, that's something I guess because you have a lot of insight into that because you're working with clients. You're kind of seeing everything that's happening.
Right.
Is there anything that you would advise people if they're traveling this summer to do or to not do right now?
Always, I would say take the first flight of the day because you want to ensure, like, if there is an interruption in the flight schedule, you can get on maybe a future flight that day. Mm-hmm. I would avoid stops. I would do direct as much as you can. Carry on as much as you can, obviously. I think the biggest thing is just making sure that you get there early. I was recently flying, and my husband and I went on a personal trip, and we got to the airport 2 hours in advance, like we should, and the lines were wrapped around CVG, like the desk, and I had never seen it ever in my life, and I got there at 6 a.m.
Wow.
And it was, like, out of control.
That's crazy.
But the other thing is, do pre-check. Quite honestly, or, that gets you, 7 years where you can get first in line, get through that line, as quickly as you can.
I am TSA pre-check. It is a lifesaver.
It is a game changer. Do it.
I went to Denver earlier this year, and I remember looking at the line, and I was like, oh, that can't be our line.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, because we were TSA pre-check.
Exactly.
We can plug that.
And you don't have to take your shoes off.
Yeah, that's very nice. So one of the other things that you do, because you are booking with clients, you're also a part of a network of other travel advisors that really gives you leverage when you're planning these trips. Can you touch a little bit about that?
Sure. I work with a consortium called Virtuoso, and what that is vetted suppliers that we work with, resorts, tour companies, cruise lines, etc. And so that gives me access to vetted, again, suppliers, but also I have a network of people that I can reach out to, because the world's a big place to travel, and obviously nobody's going to go every place that they might plan a trip for a client. And so I can reach out to colleagues to kind of check on, hey, my client wants to go to this location. Here's kind of like the demographics. This is the age range they're in. Budget we're looking for. Can you give me some perspective on some of these locations or resorts that I have found for them as options? And that allows me to, one, go back to my client and say, hey, I have somebody that has had experience there and it's a trusted resource. And that ensures that you're getting what you're paying for, because again, people look on the website, on Google, and they see all these beautiful pictures, but that doesn't mean when you get there, that's actually what it's going to look like.
Right.
And that is, I hear horror stories of that, honestly. And so by working with a travel advisor such as myself, you have more confidence that you're getting what you're paying for, because you have to go through a very rigorous process to remain in Virtuoso, and it just gives comfort.
Right. And I know you've touched on a lot of reasons why people should work with someone like you, like a travel agent that's part of this vetted industry that knows what they're doing. Is there a bottom line? If there's an elevator pitch for getting people to work with a travel agent, instead of being like, oh, I'm in some Facebook groups or I did my own research, what is that?
I would say is, I put together curated travel experiences so that you have an amazing experience on the other side. I think that is one of the reasons that people do use travel advisors, is because they know that they're getting what they're paying for, and that they have confidence that they're going to have an amazing experience. I feel like that is one of the best reasons. Obviously it's time saving because we're doing the research versus you having to do the research. But quite honestly, it's the comfort and the confidence that it's going to be an awesome experience.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. I know that I need you to plan the honeymoon I never got because of COVID.
There are a lot of honeymoons these days, honestly. So yeah, let's talk.
All right, and Lisa, tell us about some recent trips that you've planned for people, some unique experiences that people have gotten with you.
Yeah, two that come quickly to mind is one to Scotland and another one that's coming up to Norway. The Scotland one was for a client that was having a significant milestone birthday, and they wanted to have a really unique experience going through the countryside of Scotland and seeing all the beautiful castles that are there. So spent obviously time researching what the right plan was for them, but they came up with a 10-day tour that took them through literally all parts of Scotland. Stayed in castles overnight. She wanted to have a couple overnight stays in castles. It was with a private driver who took them through literally every significant castle in the country. Birthday dinner, we made sure that she had a great birthday dinner on that day. It was whiskey distillery trips because the husband was really into bourbon and whiskey. So they're from Kentucky. So
gotta get a taste of home.
Yeah, definitely. And they, I followed along on their adventure on Facebook because they posted all their pictures and they were tagging me in it. And honestly, I was so jealous. I honestly wasn't, and they were they were sad to leave because they became so close with their driver. He took them on a very personalized trip. And the other one was Norway. Again, a couple that wanted to go to Norway. They didn't want to be on a tour, but they wanted a plan. So it is going to be a self-guided tour that's put together over 6 days. They're basically doing planes, trains, and automobiles, to be honestly. And again, it's going to be a great experience because they wanted something that was out of the way. And I said, why Norway? Because you don't really hear about Norway, quite honestly, a lot. And they said, during the pandemic, they came across it looked like a beautiful country, and they just wanted to go experience it. So they're starting in Oslo, they're ending in Bergen, and they're basically taking planes, trains, and automobiles through the countryside during that stay in really small, quaint little boutique hotels, dinners, adventures along the way. And it's going to be great.
Yeah,
I'm really excited for them. Probably the most recent one just this week was somebody that thought they wanted to go to Italy. They're staying here in the U.S. because she's taking her children and grandchildren on a significant trip, and that is through cities in the U.S. that, again, it's like, well, could they do it themselves? Yes, but what I'm doing is exposing them to private tours and different types of places to stay that they probably would never have been able to discover on their own, quite honestly, because people don't tend to reach out beyond the normal. Like, the web's going to show you what they wanted to show you.
Right. Yeah, that's a really good point, especially when you're thinking about domestic travel, which
Yes.
a lot of people kind of started doing back in 2020 when international travel was shut down. I know I had mentioned that my honeymoon got canceled. Yes. We took a trip to Denver.
Yeah.
And we stayed out there. We, my husband and I, we snowboarded, did a couple other things. But when you're thinking about planning domestic travel, yeah, you're like, oh, I'm going to get on Frontline and Priceline, not Frontline. Frontline is for dogs.
Booking.com, whatever.
Yeah. So working with a travel agent domestically, working on those travel plans.
Right.
You mentioned being able to find unique stays.
Yeah.
What are some things, little gems that you've been able to find for people?
For the one in the Northeast, I won't name the city because the person may not want to if they're watching it. It is these boutique. This one is a 9-room. It's not a bed and breakfast, but it's a 9-room property. And I said, well, is it conducive to children because they will have grandchildren with them? And she's like, yeah, I'm the innkeeper, and my 2-year-old lives on property with me. So yes, we're definitely family friendly. And if I had just looked that up and Googled it, I'm not sure I would have actually considered that. But when I call and talk to them, because that's what I do.
Right.
Like, I check out and make sure that it's the right location. And again, there was just so many quaint little places in Kennebunkport, Maine, for example, that you look at and you go, oh, how would I have ever found this?
Yeah.
And so what I'm able to go into Virtuoso. In that case, I was in there looking at properties that I thought would fit the profile, and that I came across those. Other ones in Charleston, South Carolina. I had a client that was going to be going there, and again, these great renovated buildings in downtown Charleston that have become these boutique hotels. You know, I'm not saying people wouldn't be able to find that on their own. I'm not sure they would have considered that because
they don't know.
They don't know what you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, that is very cool. And if someone, if you have sold someone on your services, how do they get in touch with you?
Several different ways. My email, which is luxurytravelbylisa@gmail.com. My phone number is 859-250-2832. LinkedIn, Lisa Maines. You will go to my LinkedIn profile. I have a Facebook page, a business Facebook page, Luxury Travel by Lisa. And I also have an Instagram account, Luxury Travel by Lisa.
All right, well, perfect. And then, Lisa, before I let you go on with your very busy day, because it is travel season, what is there anything else that we didn't get to talk about that you want to touch on and highlight?
We touched on a lot, honestly. What I would say is, travel is you're going because you want to have a great experience. This is, a life-changing trip for a lot of people. I work with clients that honestly, they're looking for new opportunities. Like, that to me is the sweet spot. Like, I want to have fun, expose me to something different. So for me, that is the one thing that actually brings me a lot of joy. I love doing that for my clients. Other than that, I think we've touched on a lot of things, quite honestly. You did a great job.
Well, short notice interview, Lisa.
Yeah.
Thank you so much
welcome.
for joining us today. And everyone, if you need someone to assist your travel plans, call Lisa.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Shannon Schumacher, Account Executive, Kentucky Market Leader. At Haran, we champion bold innovation to help employers and individuals thrive. As an industry thought leader, we explore new horizons in healthcare, benefits, employee engagement, and wellness. We work harder to deliver all the strategic benefits, planning, and execution you expect from a true partner. And we do it with laser focus on your short and long-term outcomes to help manage your benefits while improving your employee experience.
So Heartland is celebrating its 110th anniversary this year. Recently, we partnered with the Kinkle family and the Fisher family in northern Kentucky, Boone, Kenton, and Campbell counties. And we have 3 offices there to serve the Northern Kentucky region. Just remember, when the economy heats up, come see us at Heartland Bank, where banking really feels good.
Come on over to Heartland, where banking feels good.
Hi, guys. Thank you again so much for joining us on the podcast today. Hope you enjoyed that conversation with Lisa. I know I, for one, am itching to plan a trip. Thank you to our sponsors, CVG, Sea Crew Consulting, Haran, and Heartland Bank. Don't forget to register for those upcoming networking events. Those are going to be a lot of fun. It's always a great time to meet new chamber members and develop those relationships if you don't already have them. You can register for those events at nkychamber.com/events or go to our Facebook page for more details. Finally, if you are a member who would like to be featured on the podcast, or if you're interested in becoming a member of the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce, please reach out to Lynn Ablin. You can find her contact information on our staff directory at nkychamber.com. Thanks again, guys. I will talk to you again next week.